guys, and in this video, as you can see, this is very different. I have heard that SCP-093 is one of the best ever written on the site, and I wanted to see if that was true. I might have a different opinion depending if this is actually good or not, so let's just get into it. So obviously it's SCP-093, Euclid. Special containment procedures. See testing document SCP-093-T1 for outline of testing conditions. SCP-093 must remain on the mirror at all times under video surveillance. Admittance into the area of 093's containment must be authorized only with proper video recording and subject retrieval procedures in place. Any attempt to use SCP-093 outside of approved tests will be dealt with severely up to and including termination. So essentially, this is some serious shit. Okay. Description. SCP-093 is a primarily red disc carved from a stone composite resembling cinnabar with circular engravings and unknown symbols carved at 0.5 centimeter depth around the entire object. Deeper cuts are present on 093 with a depth of 1 to 1.5 centimeters. 093 is 7.62 centimeters diameter and fits comfortably into most palms with abrasion. 093 will change hue when held by a living individual. The colors taken by 093 are still being researched to establish a link. Current belief holds that the change depends upon the regrets carried by the holder. Interesting. That's actually kind of cool. That's a cool concept. If 093 is removed from a mirror and not held by a person, it will seek out the nearest mirror-like surface. 093 has been observed to travel in the largest possible circle while rolling, building up phenomenal speed. The mechanisms of this acceleration is currently unknown. If an obstacle is between 093 and the nearest mirror-like surface, it will use this momentum to punch through the obstacle and continue on its course at this speed. It will only stop when a mirror-like surface is contacted. Despite tremendous impact velocities, no damage will be dealt to 093 or the mirror. So, yeah, typical SCP bullshit. Additional notes. No records exist to clarify the nature of SCP-093's discovery or presence in the Foundation. See 093-OD. Since no records exist explaining 093's method of containment, a test procedure was initiated to establish why mirrors must be used to contain it. The results of SCP-093-T1 led to the discovery of living beings holding 093 being able to move through mirrors, and the series of tests in SCP-093-2 is to ascertain the destination reached through this travel, yada yada yada. Okay, so original documentation, huh? Item number 093, Euclid. Yeah. Item 093 is to be kept in a silver-lined mirror on a 0.3 times 0.23 meter, 1 foot by 9 inches, okay. Pedestal at least 4 feet off the ground, a containment cell block, redacted apparently. Object is not to be contained in areas exceeding 12 by 10 feet, nor placed on mahogany, pine, cherry, or aluminum pedestals above or below level 1 of the containment cell block. Object can be handled safely, albeit gently, without consequences. Tests and consequences thereof involving containment conditions can be viewed in section B 35.1 of the attached report. The description. Object was found on the shore of the Red Sea, 30th of January 1968. Red Sea, huh? Emitting a low sigh and a dim blue gleam. Its color has since turned into an orange mix of red, only emitting a hum of various volume, whilst in the presence of female examiners of ages between 34 and 41. 093 resembled the documented blue, for 54 minutes and 34 seconds at 1:23 on the 26th of April, 1986. Isn't that when... I'm pretty sure that's when Chernobyl happened. Coincidentally, when the body of 19489... No, 1949834 was discovered at research facility. Ties between 194, 9834, and 093 remain inconclusive, and effects of prolonged exposure to 093 remain unknown, except for frequent reports of periods of calmness, and in the case of 24249, as periodic waves of depression, loss of balance, and thoughts of suicide. So it affects different people differently then. Interesting. These fill-ins have reportedly not exceeded 11 days in duration. Objects seem to react on the presence of 24256 by turning light violet for no more than 2 minutes and 9 seconds, as documented on 12th of March 1993. Effects of this reaction remain unknown. Additional notes. Origins of 093 remain unknown, and documents of recovery of 093 have since been destroyed in a fire in research facility 9th of December 1989. Reports on the feelings of researcher who handled 093 have remained inconsequential since 19th of April 1995. So now we're getting to a containment test, apparently. Testing of 093 against conditions set forth for existing containment procedures to assess viability of continuing such containment, yada yada yada. Mirrored surface, brass frame, retail grade mirror. 093 rests without activity when placed on the mirror. This test alone removes the need for costly silver or wooden containment systems. Standard grade table. 093 turns upright and begins to roll across the table surface in one direction, making a U-turn and rolling to the other, completing an oval shape and repeating this action until a mirror is brought into the vicinity of it, at which time 093 rolls towards the mirror and lies flatways on it, sliding toward the center. It is noted that despite the grainy feel of 093, it does not mark the mirror in any fashion when moving across it. Cool. So, yeah, typical SCP stuff. 2 meters at either end of a standard grade table. Oh, that's interesting. 093 gravitates toward the closer mirror regardless of orientation and makes no distinction between different types of mirrors, favoring a factor of distance above all else in choosing the mirror to move to. A mirror held by a person moved around. That's a bad idea. 093 follows the mirror as it moves, gaining speed until a maximum velocity is reached. At any velocity, the impact of 093 against a mirrored surface results in no damage to either subject. A person holding 093 placed in a mirror. This test was accidental, the result of one of the staff tripping another after some debate about who would be covering the lunch tab. Wow, that's petty. As a result of the behavior of the researchers, it was discovered that a person holding 093 and placing it against a mirror will in fact move into the mirror. That's weird. So, is this any mirror? Probably. So you're telling me that any mirror has this something behind it, huh? I don't really know, because I haven't read this before, unfortunately. We haven't really gotten to the part of the story where we would get into, like, the interesting stuff yet, but this is still interesting. It's just, like, we haven't gotten to the actual stuff, you know? Okay, so this is like a mirror test. Testing protocols. Subjects testing 093 must wear a Class 3 buckle harness, strapped to the chest and attached to a tension pulley system lined for 300 meters, approximately 1,000 feet of movement. Additional spools may be added to extend movement if necessary. The class connecting these spools must be high grade and capable of withstanding applied force of 0.2 tons. Jesus Christ, okay. Sorry about the fucking retarded dogs barking. They've been doing that all day whenever anything moves at all outside the house. It's fucking annoying. Anyway, a field kit containing the following should be standard issue for testing 093. 1 wrist-mounted light source with 3 hours lifespan and additional power sources, providing up to 6 additional hours. 4 0.5-liter water bottles of water, obviously. 4 MREs of any type plus 2 plain granola bars. Chocolate chips allowed. Well, at least they're lenient some ways. 1 standard issue Beretta 9mm firearm with 24 rounds ammunition, loaded. Good. Firearms are important in like dangerous situations. Fucking get a gun. Fuck your feelings, liberals. I don't give a shit. Well, not just liberals. I mean, like, you know, the fucking anti-gun maniacs. This is not to be issued until subject has passed into a mirror using 093 and should be given under armed supervision, ensuring that the subject passes through entirely. This item is to be requisitioned first upon subject's return, and subject is to be made aware of this before leaving line of sight within 093's mirror. Obviously, they're using D-class. They wouldn't use actual people that would be important in this shit. 1 standard issue field knife. The subject is not to be aware of this item and must find it on his own within the kit. Wow. Why? Why though? The subject must also be attached to a video system with a camera mounted on the subject's head or shoulder. Well, that makes sense. You would want video of what's in there, wouldn't you? You can't exactly trust the word of someone. The video device should be cable-based and allow for the same length of travel as the return system. Wireless cameras have shown mixed results and should only be used in testing conditions where 093 is a currently known color. New colors must be tested through wired feed. During testing, the color of 093 must be recorded, as well as the history of the subject in terms of their incarceration to identify how 093 determines the color to assume. A link appears to be connected to guilt or lack thereof in the subject's psyche. The attached test results should be read in order. So, they're using incarcerated inmates to do these tests, which is interesting. So, blue test, huh? Wait, what? What the fuck? You're kidding, right? We have to go to a different page for this? Oh, good. I don't have to go back. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Um, so this is mirror test 1, color blue. Subject is D20-38-4, male, 34 years of age, strong physique. Subject's background shows instance of murder, attempted suicide. Okay. Subject is cooperative in all steps of testing. Subject entered the mirror while holding 093, which emitted a blue color. Outside technicians observed that the mirror retained a true reflection until subject had completely passed into it, at which time the view changed to a outdoor landscape, heavily tinged in blue. Video feed follows in attached media. Camera activates and flickers into view. Subject is looking out over the same field reported by technicians. Looks like typical lowland plains. Everything has a heavy blue tinge, overlapping the normal colors. No discernible landmarks visible as subject pans left to right. Only grass, weeds, and a breeze moving taller grass. No trees, no living beings visible. Subject moves forward as instructed, traveling for approximately 500 steps before something becomes visible. Patch of the land up ahead is barren and grass can be seen dying as subject approaches it. Approximately 300 steps forward, subject is standing before a hole in the ground. The hole has been dug using unknown tools of primitive origin. And remember, he has like approximately 1,000 feet of rope or whatever wire to go in here with, so he can find his way out. Pulley system is engaged and the camera suffers a little shudder. Subject is instructed to enter the hole and after mild protesting agrees to do so. There is no apparent method of descent, such as ladder or rope. Subject relies entirely on his own hands and the pulley system to slow the descent. Approximately 100 meters of cable is used before a bottom is reached. Light source provided in field kit activated 50 meters down when outside sources become unreliable. I don't know my meters, so I can't say how many feet that is. Sleeping gestures of the light reveal nothing more than dirt, even at the bottom of the hole. Subject moves forward with assistance of light source. Asked about the blue tinge, subject expresses confusion and says there is no such tinge from his perspective and never was. Huh. Light is visible down the passage, and 150 meters of cable has been used. Out of the camera's eye, sound is recorded. Out of the camera's eye, sound is recorded. Firearms being prepared. When questioned about these actions, subject states justified precaution and moves forward. Smart cookie, this one. The tunnel turns from bare dirt to a concrete enclosure. Subject complains of a stench. I'm gonna get a drink real quick, guys. Nothing like off-brand Dr. Pepper, am I right? The light source is revealed to be ceiling light fixtures, a series of which, with less than a quarter broken, while the others function. A series to 6 doors, 3 to a side, span the camera view, with a 7th door visible at the end of the corridor that is blocked by what looks like generic metal shelving debris. Debris shows signs of rusting and is typical of retail store units, suggesting other human presences. I doubt it. Subject requested to try doors in whatever order he chooses. Subject tries first door on right. Door is locked, does not open. Second door tries to open but does not budge. Unlocked but blocked. Closing second door. Third door is tried. Same results as first. Going up the other side, the third door does open fully, and light is bright in the room. Portable light switched off at this time as subject pans camera to inspect room. Room is bare, no contents, but walls are filthy. Subject states material on walls isn't dirt, but he can't identify it. It seems to resemble melted plastic, but is brown in color rather than black. What? Door is closed. Second door on left has no handle, but does not move when pushed. The hole where the handle was is plugged by unknown material. All doors are shaped in such a way that nothing can visibly escape from the sides, and space for movement is too thin to look through even at ground level. First door on left hand is locked, but part of a key is present unlocked from stem to the ridges. The back has been broken off. With effort, subject manipulates key to open door, and immediately begins coughing, complaining of a stench. Walls of room are clean, as is the floor. Ceiling is coated in the same strange brown material as the third room. In this room there's a makeshift cot made from aged blankets with a pillow. A wooden crate containing open boxes of what appears to have been foodstuffs. Language appears in video as squiggles, however, subject states they simply read cereal. This is weird. So the researchers watching the video feed are seeing completely different things from what this dude is saying. Well, not really completely, just minor details, but it's still interesting nonetheless. A second crate in the room contains what appears to be empty water bottles that have dried out. A book lies next to the cot, closed, no title or identifying marks. On the wall is what appears to be clipped articles, but language cannot be read. Subject asked to remove clippings for retrieval. All articles but one crumble at the touch due to age. The intact article is put in a field sample container and seems the most recent compared to others. Asked to investigate the book. Subject begins to move toward it. Audio on the tape goes strange, and a high-pitched screeching noise like grinding metal dominates all communication for 3.5 seconds. Subject has not touched the book still, and when noise stops, subject asks Control to repeat request. Control made no request during that time as headsets were removed. Subject advised to leave room and notes that the door has begun closing slowly on its own, and if left alone will close. Subject advised to leave door alone and to investigate door on right. Careful review of the following 10 seconds of tape shows that as the camera pans, a figure is visible at the end of the tunnel where the 7th door is. The door is not only open enough for a face to be seen through a crack just before the door silently closes. No details can be seen. Okay, that's creepy. Subject investigates the second door on the right with no mention of anything seen out of the ordinary. This door, when pushed against, moves, and after repeated bashings, moves enough to view inside at an angle. A corkboard is visible with more articles attached to it. The top box of cereal can be seen on the floor and what appears to be a hand laying palm up. Subject closes door and pans camera past door 7. which remains closed. Seeing nowhere else to explore, subject requests a return. Subject poses no protest and complains of ever-increasing stench. As subject returns back down tunnel, his camera feed does not change or show anomaly, but control reports a sudden surge in cable movement, pulling an additional 100 meters of cable through before going slack again and tightening. Video feed shows subject descending tunnels slowly, while control attempts to verify integrity of the pulley system. Subject requested to stop ascent, but states he is not climbing, the rope is pulling him up. What the fuck? Panic sets in on both sides and the subject is informed to ready firearm. Upon reaching top of hole, nothing is visible on camera, and subject reports nothing has changed in landscape. Then begins a return trip following the path of the cable. Traveling for approximately 900 steps, subject asks how much cable he has used. Control admits they are unsure due to complications, but subject traveled in straight line to reach the hole, so it should be a straight line back. Subject becomes concerned when he states that more cable is visible now, moving in a 90-degree angle away from a point in the ground. Subject pans camera around full circle slowly. On film, behind subject, a crowd of 39 countable figures stand silently. Features are unidentifiable and they are lacking the blue tinge that dominates the landscape. Panic breaks in control again, and subject notes only oddity is being the cable having an angled path. Subject tugs his end of the cable, it is taut and does not move. Control begins to reel in the pulley system, and slack rapidly winds. Watching the angled cable movement can be seen as grass is disturbed farther down the angled portion from the reeling in. Then the line vibrates as it meets resistance and emits a twang from the recoil. Subject's camera pans back a long length of cable to which now appears to be slowly be allowed more slack before suddenly all slack is returned and pulley system begins again. What? So he's like getting pulled back or something. Is that what my brain malfunctioned for some reason there. I don't understand. Control request subject return following cable path and screams are caught in audio with panic from subject. 5 shots fired as subject aims pistol at something not visible on camera. Control reports being able to see subject returning toward point of origin, while camera shows wire disappearing into a point floating in the air. As subject passes this point, all cable is now in the pulley system and camera films only the floor. Control reports that the mirror took approximately 5 seconds to return to reflection, and 093 remained blue in color until 1 hour after being recovered from subject. Okay. So that's weird. Like he was getting pulled up into something, and they couldn't see it, or so I don't know. My brain's malfunctioning. A vile smelling fluid was present on the subject's clothes around his hand when firearm was recovered. This fluid dried quickly and was deemed insignificant of study due to lack of quality sample. Control personnel monitoring the mirror site, having seen a massive human being crawling on the ground easily 50 times the size of a normal person with no facial features and a very short arm reach, pulling itself toward the mirror before it returned to a reflection. Due to their proximity, fine details could not be made out, but at least one observer noted the being appeared to have been shot from the marks on the otherwise smooth, featureless face. What the fuck? Field test kit recovered from subject containing a newspaper article reads, data expunged and was filed as item data expunged. Okay. No, like anything there, so green test time. Alright. So, let's see what this is. Oh jeez, this is long, like the last one, isn't it? Okay, so, mirror test 2, color green. Subject is D54493, female, 23 years of age, average physique. Subject's background shows instance of grand theft auto and second-degree murder of 2 children during escape with vehicle. What the fuck? Why the fuck? Subject is cooperative in all steps of testing. Subject entered the provided mirror while holding SCP-093, which emitted a green color. Outside technicians observed that the mirror retained a true reflection until she passed through it, at which time the view changed a farming landscape, heavily tinged in green, similar to the first test. Video feed follows unattached media. Camera activates, flickers to view. Subject is looking out over the same farmland reported by technicians. All green through video feed are deeper, and green tinge overlays the normal colors of objects similar to the blue tinge in Test 1. No landmarks from Test 1 are discernible as camera pans over area. Present in a field long abandoned in Present is a field long abandoned in the middle of which stands the remains of a scarecrow of unknown design. Fragments left are rotten and torn. Nothing grows in the tilled land. A farmhouse is visible to the right of the field. Large, 2 stories. A basement shelter entrance is visible at one end. Subject prepares to slide immediately, and is asked by control to relax before proceeding, her heavy breathing dominating the audio feed. Subject takes a few minutes and announces that she's fine, then proceeds as directed to walk the perimeter of the farmhouse. Children's bicycles, 2, a girl's and a boy's, lay against the house near the shelter doors. One of the doors to the shelter lay in the grass, torn from the entrance, as evidenced by splintering wood. On the stairs lay clothes arranged in a descending order, shoes to shirt going down them, belonging to a boy. So that begins to screaming at Control, asking if this is some sort of sick joke. Control assures her they have never seen this environment either, and to please calm down. Subject takes several minutes to regain herself before continuing. It is unknown if 093 is linking the subject's past with her landscape. I'm pretty sure it is. It's fucking obvious. After several minutes, subject agrees to continue. Communication to subject is muted, and conversation of Control makes commentary about subject's jittery attitude, make up audio for about 1.5 minutes. Communication restored as subject reaches bottom of stairs. The cellar of the farmhouse is unremarkable and typical. Wooden shelves line the far wall containing unidentified canned substances. Broken light fixtures sway gently from support beams. The camera is panned across the basement slowly. No evidence of footprints are visible, and the basement can be assumed to have been abandoned for some time. Subject begins to complain about a stench. Just like the first dude. Well, this is a chick, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. As subject pans the area, metal hatch is visible in the ground, similar to a bulkhead on a submarine with a turn handle. Subject remarks that the smell is at its worst around the hatch, and the dirt around the hatch is noted as being clumped and clay-like. The handle of the hatch is old and paint-chipped. Subject coerced into turning the handle, which, when fully turned, opens the hatch. Subject begins coughing at the release of assumed old stale air. When camera is tilted to view down the hatch, there's a white concrete tunnel similar to the one found in the blue experiment, but in much better condition. Subject asked to descend ladder and close latch behind her. That's fucking dumb. After some convincing, subject agrees to descend but does not close the hatch. Overlooked concerns about severing the pulley system in doing so are acknowledged. Exactly. Descent down the ladder and trip to the farmhouse has consumed approximately 53 meters of cable when bottom is reached. That's nothing. Almost like 1,000 feet, that's like nothing. I think. I don't know what meters is. I know it's metric, but I don't know how to measure it, so whatever. The inside of the hatch appears to be a bunker ill-suited to long-term usage. It is spacious, about half the size of the cellar itself, containing 3 bunks, 1 for a couple and 2 for single use. Several boxes of food, similar to those found during Blue, marked as cereal, fill a waste container near the hatch bottom. On the bed are 2 skeletons, and on the floor is a third, lying next to which is a simple 6-shooter revolver containing no ammunition. 3 spent casings are across the floor near the gun. Stupid fucking dogs. On the other side of the skeleton is a bound book in good condition. This is retrieved and placed into a field kit container upon request. The gun is left alone per request for control. Yeah, she already has a gun, she doesn't need one. Subject examines more of the bunker, focusing on a desk where newspapers have been cut and is in good condition. The clipped articles are recovered using a field kit container. Little else of interest to be brought back is in the bunker, and as the camera's panned around. Trash bags containing clothing, a few children's toys resembling popular 1950s era products are lined against the wall. Yeah, this is definitely, like, reflecting her, like, crime and her guilt, I guess. Definitely. Most definitely. Subject is requested to leave the bunker, and then sharply asked away by a control technician, who directs the camera view to an area near the exiting doorway to the hatch. Closer inspection as subject moves in finds that a small area has been fitted with what appears to be an Ethernet jack. In this, the cover of which has been forced slightly away from the wall by a strange amber-like substance. Subject refuses to touch or collect a sample, commenting that it stinks so bad that if they want it, they can come get it themselves. Control declines and subject leaves bunker. As subject grips ladder to leave, the camera pans out for a moment. In the top of the tunnel, a humanoid figure is seen peering down. Control asks subject to confirm figure after first rung is touched by subject, who ascends at that incident. What? Oh, she states nothing's up there and starts to climb it anyway, but it draws out the view after she touches it, okay. At the top of the tunnel, no other life is seen, nothing's been disturbed, subject insists nothing was there and closes the hatch, then immediately vomits. Oh boy. Subject coughs and uses a supplied water bottle to gargle, then freezes and asks if Control's hearing that. Control ports no audio. Subject approaches cellar hatch cautiously with firearm drawn and lifts her head just enough so camera can view area outside. In the distance, approximately 700 meters from the farm, 2 massive humanoid beings are crawling across the landscape. The entities do not notice the subject, who remains quiet, but whose drawn sidearm is visibly trembling. Yeah, no shit. I'd be fucking terrified too, bitch. Subject is requested to remain still and silent as beings move. They are featureless, facing at an angle, moving across the field of vision, so the faces are only visible for a few moments. During this time, it is clear they have no facial features. The arms they use to drag themselves are short at times and long at others, stretching out to various lengths each time they move. There is no rear area to the beings. All bodily design appears to end at the torso. I think I've seen pictures of that thing before, these things or whatever, I don't know. The 2 creatures take approximately 10 minutes to disappear into the distance before subject begins to panic and begs to return. Request declined. Fuck you. Subject instructed to enter the home from the cellar and not to leave the home under any circumstances. Okay, I see. Like, try and stay away from the fucking creatures. I get it now, okay. The first floor is entered through a hatch in the ceiling/floor that opens with rusting creaks that cause subject to pause for 37 seconds before continuing upward and entering a kitchen. A heavy layer of dust coats all items in the kitchen. The refrigerator is left open, all food is spoiled. Adjacent to the kitchen's living room area, that subject enters slowly. There is a recliner, a couch, and a television of all of 1950s style design. Well, TVs were invented in the 1950s, so... In the recliner is a laptop whose case also resembles 1950s decor and is coated in heavy dot. That wouldn't be possible. Nah, laptops didn't exist back then. I don't even think computers did. Opening the laptop reveals the last moments of its operating system, Faithful OS, leaving a standby mode and immediately shutting off. Laptop has no external power source and will not power back on. When asked to recover laptop, it brings the cushion of the recliner with it. The two stuck together. Subject advised to leave laptop where it is. The inside door leaving the home is nailed shut with thick wood planks. No attempt made to interact with these. Camera pans to staircase leading upstairs. Subject descends the stairs without being asked, and the stairs remain silent to control surprise. When subject reaches top of stairs, a hallway with two doors is viewed, one on each side, and at the end of the hall is a dumbwaiter inlaid in the wall. Okay. Subject opens door and left in a room, which opens to a master bedroom. The bed is neatly made, but the wardrobe next to it is thrown open and clothes are everywhere on the floor. Subject finds laid out in the bed several pieces of jewelry and is informed to leave them. Subject begins to protest, then comments they stink and leaves them alone, promptly leaving room. Subject asks to open second door. The second door opens and gives a view of a shared children's bedroom, obviously boy and girl, given the types of toys and clothes scattered on the floor. There is also a window, which subject approaches and wipes with a curtain to clear dust. Subject wishes to move camera to window and does so. The farmland is visible, and approximately 40 kilometers from it at best, a city. As the camera starts to draw back, it pans down and films the area around the house. Approximately 300 figures, similar to those from the footage captured during Blue Test, are visible around the home, all staring up. Subject asked to confirm figures, but states nothing is there. Subject requests to return, and quickly agrees. Okay. Egress from the house is uneventful. Pulley system shows no erratic behavior. As subject returns to point of pulley wire's origin, a loud groaning noise causes the picture to reverberate. Technicians at control port they were also able to hear the noise and experience the vibration. Subject returned through point of origin without investigation, and mirror returns to reflective surface. 093 relinquished. Video ends. Returned newspaper fragments as redacted, I guess. Violet test. Oh boy, how many of these are there? Oh boy, Sanash. Boy, this is really. Oh Jesus Christ, mate. Okay, wow. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Okay, I need a drink. You know what? I'm just gonna make a part two to this eventually, because I'm really not in the mood to do more right now. So, yeah, bookmark this shit and see you fuckers later.